this hits so hard if you're dumb as yeah, but everyone is dumb as so it hits hard for many of your coworkers, like a lot of your coworkers, if not all of your coworkers. They're all around. Anyway, let's get to some fun shit. Here's Unc on Patrick Bet-David. Let's do it. Apparently, he also pissed off my favorite.
Answer me that question.
First of all, the border was not open.
Give me a. Are you kidding me? Look at the. What do you mean the border
Sam,
wasn't open? Are you?
Sam,
hold on. Did you smoke before you came in here?
This?
That's ridiculous.
By the way, Vin,
anybody can look at that video. The things you were saying
tell me the
yesterday
border-
Rob,
was
do me
a
favor, Rob.
complete
Sam,
sack
type in-
of lies or just misinformation.
Be honest with me. The border.
Immigration
Yeah, okay,
year
yeah.
over year
Çıkar
over year.
Sam,
Illegal immigration year over
çıkar o
year.
The
zaman
fact that you're
içinden.
saying the border wasn't wide open. How many deaths?
Oğlum kendimi duyamıyorum ya. Amına koydun yani. Tamam açsın o zaman, pili çıkarsın içinden. Bu kadar basit. Ötmez o zaman. Ben yenisini takarım sonra.
How many deaths have happened?
That's the best part about it.
And that's the
Because they were
definition.
told to come. Sam, let me explain something. When your president says come to the
Is he
country,
just gonna yell all the
no, I'm
time?
not yelling. You just give me facts.
Can I turn down his microphone because
You can't. Yeah, just see which one he is. I think he's
Right.
seat 3 or
Four.
which one is it, Rob?
Four.
Seat 3.
Seat 3.
Seat 3. Go ahead. Lower that
And
right
then,
there.
And then the mic.
Right there. There you go.
Volume,
Can you? Is
just
that
lower.
good? Is that good?
Seat
oh,
two.
seat 2. There you go.
Okay, go for it.
All right.
Go ahead.
Good.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So
You're still going to hear the truth, though. So go ahead.
no, I'm happy to.
Yeah. Answer me that.
Dude, he got him so red. Last time I saw him that red was when he was facing off against me at Piers Morgan. What the hell? Why did PBD invite your uncle and not you? He's afraid of the smoke, dude.
Illegal immigrants
Hold
that
on,
came those 4 years.
I will get to illegal.
You don't
I will
care
get
about
to-
those people.
I will get to the
You cared
undocumented.
about children.
But you don't want
Yeah.
to talk about
Okay.
this, and I don't blame you because it's
But wait,
embarrassing.
no. But let me do a quick time out.
Every
here.
one
Let me
of
do a
those
quick
Social
time out
Security
here.
numbers.
Do a quick time out here. Sam, let me just do a quick time out. You said you don't want to talk about this. You just spun away from a question I asked you and you brought
No,
this
let
up.
me
You
finish
haven't
the
even
video.
addressed the question I asked
Let
you.
me
Wait a
finish.
minute.
This is why your party sucks. Sam Seder takes heat for defending Biden's open border policies.
We'll get to the
point that I
illegal
asked, let's go back to what I asked you. I asked you a question that the money that's going in, Americans prove that they don't trust the government getting the money than free market, free enterprise.
I don't think
you
that's the
never
case.
addressed that.
I don't think that's the case. People
Americans
love
with the
Social Security. People
the
love
wasted
Medicare.
expenditure. What
Okay.
we learned with Doge.
Hold
the
on,
American
no.
people said, Sam, enough of you taking our
Excuse
tax money
me.
and see what you're doing with it.
Elon Musk made that Wisconsin election of a referendum on Doge. To the extent that we've seen anybody vote on Doge, nobody heard the word Doge before November of last year. To the extent that we've seen a referendum on Doge, it just happened in Wisconsin. It happened in Florida, where the size of the win by those Republican congressmen was cut by 17, 20 points. I mean, this is a wipeout. And every Republican, you're going to see a difference in Republican lawmakers over the next year and a half, because anybody who was in a plus Trump 8 district or less is now starting to go like, wait a second. That's why Musk is being shown the door, supposedly. So getting back to my point about those Social Security numbers, they were given all to legal non-citizens. And every one of those cards, you can't vote, because I think you definitely said, and I think maybe you said, that this is a Democratic strategy to get voters. Hold on for a second. The Social Security card that they get literally says not legitimate for voting purposes. It is so that these non-citizens who are legal, just like when you came in, excuse me, pay into the Social Security system and get, many of them never get that money back. So in addition to the undocumented immigrants who pay in $22 billion a year into Social Security and get zero back, these people pay several $billion in a year, and only if they become citizens, which most of them won't. Most of them will go back home over a period of time. They're here for temporary protected status. Maybe some of them are refugees and they get permanent citizenship. They won't get that money either. So every single thing of that video, this video here, was completely wrong. that you guys did. It was fascinating to me because I feel like you, at the very least, I believe that you care about the information you're putting out. And this was all wrong. And
so they're up there. So Sam, this is all a lie. These guys were up there just completely.
I hate that the answer to this is yes. Like, it's so sad because, like, I kind of get why, if you're a defender of this administration, you're like, oh, you mean to tell me that everything that this professional administration is posting about the ridiculous cuts to expenditures is a lie? And it's sad that the answer is yes. Pretty much everything. It's either shit that they don't like and think is silly to spend money on, okay? And that's a matter of debate, fine. Or directly fabricated cuts, like just not a thing that was real, that or a program that no longer is continuing anyway. It's like a program where the budget for the program was like $800 million, and they've already spent like $799 million of those dollars, and they go, we just cut $800 million by ending this program. And it's like, no, you already spent it. You didn't cut shit. You cut $1 million. That's what you cut.
Bullshitting with all the numbers. Where he's saying that people in the government are blowing the whistle.
And when they're talking about like non-citizen Social Security numbers, like, yeah, no, that's completely made up. Dude, Social Security, before they started firing federal administrators, Social Security is so crazy that if you died and you accidentally collected a Social Security paycheck, like if a Social Security paycheck like hit your bank account and you died, they would take that away from you. Like, the government claws back every dollar. They take it out of your account directly. It's so funny that these guys are like, nah, there's just so much fraud happening. And in spite of all that, is there fraud happening? Certainly, of course. You know, it's impossible to combat fraud to a degree where there's just no fraud whatsoever, but it's marginal. It is marginal. It's marginal. The idea that there are, tens of thousands of 300-year-olds in America or whatever that are collecting Social Security is ridiculous.
So he didn't want to say their names. He was giving them praise. And for Sam, for you to say that you care about the kids and the labor and all that stuff. We've had an open border for 4 years, and all the illegals, way more than 10 million, have come into this country.
And they're moving away from Social Security to the illegals now.
California, is that where you live?
No.
Where do you live?
I live in New York.
Okay, great. Even better. California. So the amount of money that we spent on illegals with housing and all that shit, and Gavin Newsom passing a law that you don't even need an ID to vote. You're saying that we're coming up with where these people aren't coming in for the votes? That's the main goal of this whole thing. What was the open border for? Why was the border open for 4 years? Answer me that question.
First of all, the border was not open.
Give me are you kidding me? Look at the... What do you mean the border wasn't open? Hold on. Did you smoke before you came in here? That's ridiculous.
By the way, Vinny, here's the part, though.
You're full of it, bro.
Here's the part.
Get out of here.
Sam, here's the part when I hear this, okay?
Anybody can look at that video. The things you were saying yesterday was a complete sack of lies or just misinformation.
Be honest with me.
Immigration year over year over year. Type in illegal immigration year over year.
The fact that you're saying the border wasn't wide open. How many deaths have happened? How many fentanyl deaths have happened per year while your freaking president, Joe Biden, was in office? How many Americans died just from fentanyl, and you're saying the border wasn't wide open? We've had the most illegal entry in 4 years in the history of the country.
Dude.
This is why. Let me finish. And this is why your party sucks. This is why your party is at 29% approval.
20%.
Because you got 20. Thank you. Because all you guys do is talk shit and just go anti-Trump. You have no policies. You guys have no vision. You have no leaders. You're talking about oligarchs and you hate the oligarchs. Where do you think Bernie Sanders and AOC are going to get their money from? Their donors. Don't lie to yourself. For you to look and brother, you're talking about yesterday we lied.
AOC and Bernie Sanders don't take money.
Hold on, ready
from
for this?
People.
You're saying that we lied 2 days ago. You just lied, and you're going to look like a fool that the border wasn't wide open. Look at this chart. What does that chart say to you? What is that? What did Trump, when Trump was in, he was trying to close it, but your party was fighting it. It's unbelievable how many illegals have come in the past 100 days.
But this is the part to just be very, just show the data. illegal immigration, this is Wall Street Journal, is a bigger problem than ever.
Oh, no, that's
These
fake
five
news.
charts explain why. Go a little bit lower. That's under Biden.
Trump got shot trying to show these charts. Literally.
This is October of 2023. Go to the next one.
A guy who was registered Republican.
Here's another one.
I love the simple-minded thinking here. Trump got shot trying to show these. Yeah, the registered Republican was too scared of Donald Trump showing the truth about illegal immigration. That's why he shot him. I love that. It's just like loose association of things that happen, you know? Yeah, it's because of the chart. You missed the good shit from Vinny. He was turning cherry red. I've seen it in my own two eyes. Don't worry.
Can I address what his
let me just show the data, and then I want you to say what you want to say. Go a little bit lower with the data, Ron. No, because he said it's inaccurate. This is another one here showing data.
Go back up. Go back up to the.
And then go to the last one, Rob. Go to the last one, Rob.
Go to the top one here.
I mean, this is the numbers you're talking about.
Charts.
So this is you can
start one by one. Go up.
Explain every one of them. Go for it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you can see that this is what constitutes illegal immigration. These are, if it was an open border, you would not have these numbers. You would not have the numbers to know when Title 42 ends.
Yeah,
more people are coming to the border and they're being put into a system. Period.
That's the best part about.
And that's the.
Yeah, that means that automatically implies that the border is not open. Like the very fact that there's border apprehensions during illegal crossings implies that the border is not open. It means that there's an encounter taking place with a Customs and Border Patrol officer. Many of those cases are actually legal asylum claimees. Okay, they have a legal right to be inside of the U.S. Inside of U.S. boundaries to seek asylum. They have a legal right. You might not agree with it, but it does not matter. It is a legal right that they have to as long as Trump doesn't change that, which he is probably going to. But that's just a human right that they have. Okay, that's number one. Number two, the argument here is to process these people expeditiously rather than trying to have this rigid enforcement structure that is costly, especially because undocumented migrants, non-citizens in general, documented and undocumented, are not a burden. They're not a strain on our resources. They're actually a benefit to the American economy. Not only are they a benefit to the American economy, they could offer more benefits to the American economy if they were documented. This is not only the appropriate thing to do, it's also a popular policy. When given two options, mass deportation or conditional mass amnesty, Americans, by overwhelming numbers, choose conditional mass amnesty if those are the two options. The problem is Democrats never present that second option. Okay? That's it.
Because they were told to come. Sam, let me explain something. When your president says, come to the country.
Is he just going to yell all the time?
No, I'm not yelling. You just give me facts.
Can I turn down his microphone? Because
you can't. Yeah, just see which one he is. I think he's seat 3 or which one is it, Rob?
Seat 3.
Seat 3.
Seat 3. Go ahead. Lower that right there.
And then the mic.
Right there. There you go. Is that good?
So,
You're still going to hear the truth, though. So go ahead.
No, I'm happy to.
Yeah.
Can't turn down the truth.
No, you can't.
Open border would mean that we have no records of people coming across the border. The law in this country has been that if you put your foot in this country, it's an international law, it's a U.S. law. If you put your foot in this country and you apply for asylum, you are due a process to do that.
Yep. Thank God. He's right.
98% of those people who are then what you guys would call catch and release come back for their hearings. We are woefully understaffed in terms of like immigration judges, and that process is definitely broken. I would love to see more money spent in the processing of these people so that we can establish which ones, like your family,
like my family as well, illegal immigrants.
But came in through a refugee status. They weren't citizens on day one. They came in, they went through a process, and it's possible at that time, I mean, I remember, I was old enough to remember the Iran hostage situation. I remember the fallout afterwards. There may have been some form of temporary protected status, whatever it was at the time, that allows people to come in. Then they're assessed and processed. It's determined that, yes, their claim for asylum is appropriate or not, et cetera, et cetera. That's what we're looking at there. As you scroll up on those other charts, you can see when Title 42 ends, which was only supposed to be an emergency situation that has to do with health, and you can't have it both ways. Either COVID ends or it doesn't end, the pandemic. And so people come in. There's no doubt, and that number on that chart that Musk had, under Biden, more people received temporary protected status. We had a problem in Haiti as the country is falling apart. You had people from Ukraine coming in because of, obviously, the invasion. These are all under temporary protected status. They all got Social Security numbers so they could pay taxes into our government and not necessarily get...
Yeah. Undocumented non-citizens and documented non-citizens are like also get an ITIN, okay, an ITIN. This is not so that they can get Social Security payments, but instead this is so they can pay into Social Security. This is something that a lot of dumbasses on the Republican side don't understand. It quite literally is the opposite of what they think. These guys don't get to collect Social Security payments. They pay into it, though.
Get the services back.
Yes, and vote for Democrats.
No, they can't vote.
Right.
Those Social Security cards.
You can't. You cannot vote. Just because you have an ITIN doesn't mean you can vote. There are, if I'm not mistaken, there are either none or very few instances of someone who is illegally voting. You cannot vote. You cannot vote with an ITIN, okay? There's like one instance in the last election cycle where a student on a student visa tried to vote, or I think ended up successfully voting. And of course, they subsequently, I think they deported him. It was a Chinese student. That's it, though. It was in Michigan. There have been numerous studies from Republican think tanks, bipartisan think tanks, independent commissions that have extensively looked at whether or not there is mass voter fraud happening. And lo and behold, what is this? You got shooters. Hassan Piker and all your other friends use sweatshops, dumbass. I took a look at Hassan's shop. He appears to use t-shirts made in the USA at a shop run by the International Brotherhood of Teamsters. Let's go. You use sweatshops. My Coffee, Tea Cocoa, Coffee Brand Co. Coffee Brand Co. shirt. Hi, Derek. Thank you for reaching out to us. The brand is Gildan, made in Nicaragua, 50% cotton, 50% polyester, dry brand. Let me know if you have any other questions. Take care. Gildan pays $700,000 to cover collegiate supplier arrear to workers. Gildan San Miguel. 4 Gildan union leaders die in Honduras shooting. Haitian workers at factory supplying Gildan activewear fired for striking over poverty wages. Gildan Villanueva. WRC assessment. Gildan Villanueva, Honduras. The Workers' Rights Consortium. They literally say, I don't believe you when you told that apparel is made in the U.S. Wait, what? Hassan Piker and all your other friends use sweatshops, dumbass. Hassan literally uses American-made products. Literally look at the tags on any of his products. You will see the Teamsters logo. I don't believe you. Photoshop. What the? That's crazy. Brother, what is going on? What are you supposed to do in that situation? He just said, nah, don't care. That's like a child. La, 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 I can't hear you. What are you, a kid? The hell is this? What? How misinfo spreads? What is this? The number is just users to viewer ratio. It shows the percentage of people watching the stream who are signed on the site. It has absolutely nothing to do with bot detection, you brain dead dumb. What is this? A Twitch bot embedding detector extension has been released and is currently showing Hasanabi with a 78% bot detection. Wait, what? No, it shows the opposite, you idiot. It means that 80% of my viewers are actively chatting. What the? That is a very high percentage too. Wait, what is this? The full screenshot that this deceitful incel intentionally misrepresented in bad faith. Wait, what the? Shut up. He just went to a tweet that was comparing Asmongold's active chatters versus my active chatters, and then turned around. There's many of us who watch you from the TV app and don't chat. Yeah, there's that. There's also, I think this just means like you're signed in on your account, right? Bro, that's crazy. I love Lacey more than any other streamer, but it also shows about 80% bots. That's 80% real viewers, Lamau. I don't think it's active chatters. It's just a percentage of viewers that are signed in. Some people watch without a Twitch account. He made $200 for that tweet. No, he didn't. What is that? That means not from ads, but from Elon personally, Lamau. There's also an audio only option on the Twitch app. I don't know. I actually don't know what that, I thought that was like chatters, right? Like, however, like when right now there's 36,365 people in here and the chatter count is at 29,000. I mean, that means like there's 29,000 people that are chatting or have actively chatted. If everybody that was watching started chatting right now, that number would go up. But I don't know if that's the actual number that this thing is showing. I know I'm biased because I'm a fan, but it strikes me that most of your critics can be completely and summarily dismissed with like 3 seconds of basic research. Yeah, what the I don't get it. I don't know why people do this shit. Like, it's so dumb. I'm gonna unblock this dipshit and then I'm gonna ether him. What is the percentage now? I don't know.
Question.
First of all, the border was not open.
Oh my God, they just like automatically started on its own. Let's see what the chatters are at now. It didn't increase. The 14P dumbass saying we don't deserve owning anything. Yeah. Oh, quarter pounder. I know. I already covered that earlier. Anyway, so much of this stuff is, I think one of the interesting parts about all this is that, like, when someone encounters information that is just directly incorrect, instead of going, hey, I realize that this information was incorrect, my bad, which is fine. Like, you can say that and it's normal, it's fine, it's okay, it's appropriate. They just double down on it and they go, nah, dog, you. Nah, don't believe you. Hover over the number on the right. Users to viewer ratio. Concurrent logged in Twitch user to viewer ratio. It can go above 100%. Yeah. And it's interesting because, like, I think there are ways to figure out if someone is botting from this. I think there are ways that you can figure out if someone is botting from this, but like the percentage being close to 80% is pretty high. I think when you get to like when you start reaching like 50%, that's when the suspicion is that you're using an embed or botting or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And oftentimes it's also like it's a huge spike out of nowhere where your viewership skyrockets. Your viewership overall skyrockets without logged in users skyrocketing alongside it. Because notice how when my viewership is increasing, it's increasing while my user number is increasing. Like logged in viewers numbers is also increasing. What is this? What? Can you please tell Sonny has no fashion sense? Why are you sending me this? What is wrong with you? Why are you sending me some irrelevant loser with 3 likes, dude? I don't understand what the purpose of such a thing is. Yeah, okay, this guy doesn't like my fashion sense. Who cares, you know? Like, what's wrong with chatters, dude? I don't understand why we instantly go into this thing where chatters will come in. Yeah, take a week off. Think about it. The moment that I look at anything, chatters will just immediately be like, here's a guy who hates your style. Okay, so what? Who cares? Like, what's the purpose of that? Botted chart example. What is this? I believe you're wrong. This girl, Michelle, she has less than 20K followers, but nearly 2K average viewers. She's done it for a long time and even lands sponsors for it. I believe you're wrong. Her burst growth in the left column is irregular. Her daily viewership build is also abnormal. I don't know what this is. I don't know who this is. You'll be in shambles as soon as you watch this video. What video? They're calling you the Turkish Sung Jin Woo with this aura. Oh, thank you. See, I think I got swag, dude.
Cards literally say on the card say you can't use this for voting.
AOC said we don't have an illegal immigration problem. We have a documentation problem. That's
She's right. Yeah, okay. She was correct on that. We don't have an illegal immigration problem. We have a problem with processing and documenting migrants expeditiously. She is 100% correct. What the hell is going on?
That's what AOC said. So this is not something new. You know how when you talk about who's better at gerrymandering, Who's better at gerrymandering, the left or the right?
Republicans seem to be better at that.
The Republicans are
I know,
much better
I agree.
at that.
Guess what? So it's not like they can fight it and say, no, we're not. That's their reputation. They have it. They're better at gerrymandering.
Okay, Republicans are better at gerrymandering, which is objectively true. That doesn't mean that you can just like make something up and then be like, well, why don't you concede about this made up thing? Republicans are better at gerrymandering, which is why you have to admit that Democrats are better at, I don't know, killing old people. What do you mean? Excuse me, you can't just make an erroneous claim like this. Where is this coming from? It's just like, oh, well, I admitted that the Republicans are better at gerrymandering, so now you have to admit that Democrats are good at whatever thing that I made up.
Strategically, they're better at doing that. But for you to sit here,
I don't have a problem.
May I make
like
my
you
point?
Do with
Let me make my point.
Yeah.
When you sit here and you watch yourself when you're saying these policies and you spew out these policies, what the average person does, they'll watch it, and if they've already outgrown it, because today the problem with folks, content creators have today is the following. Say we say something on a video and we're wrong. You know what others will do? They'll react to it and they'll say stuff to it. And if we're right, they'll keep coming to us to want to hear more of it because they'll say, at least you sound reasonable. And they'll say, I want to hear what John has to say. I want to hear what Joe has to say. I want to hear what Megan has to say. I want to hear what, whoever these people are that are giving ideas out there want to say, right? But when you keep saying stuff that others are able to tear apart so many times, that a former liberal watches that maybe was a viewer of you and says, how can Sam not see this and outgrow it? He is still stuck on this policy that's been proven. Americans don't want to pay more taxes to a government that wastes their taxes. How does he not see that? How does he keep pushing this agenda back and forth? Then you lose an audience, and the people you keep is the following. Here's who you end up keeping. You end up keeping an audience that makes you think you're right, but that's not always the case. You keep an audience that, of course, hates rich people. Rich people are bad people, and they're probably not making a lot of money, and they come to Sam to save them. Hey, let's trash and bash rich people because this is what we got to do. Yes, Sam, let's go after the rich. We want 1 million people to sport the Future Looks Bright gear. We are getting very close to it. We got something unique that came in. Just so you guys know, I only wear the Valuetainment wallet. This is all I have. I think Adam's the same as well. But we got these new wallets, okay, that are RFID. Sam, question for you. From the last time you were here, I think it was 2 years ago that it was.
This hits so hard if you're dumb as. Yeah, but everyone is dumb as. So it does hit hard, and it hits hard for many of your coworkers, like a lot of your coworkers, if not all of your coworkers. They're all around. I need you to understand.
Give or take 2 years ago. At the time, it was probably a terrible season for Trump, I think we can say. Trump wasn't having a lot of victories. Trump was at a very low. Republicans were not convinced that he could go. Republicans were thinking it's probably going to be DeSantis or it's going to be somebody else. There was a bit of a split in the Republican Party and the MAGA. Like, I don't know. Even when he opened up his announcement that he's running at Mar-a-Lago, there was not a lot of people there. People saying, I don't even know, this person wasn't there, that person wasn't there, this person wasn't there. And then you get these CNN polls. Rob, if you can pull up the CNN video showing where the Democratic Party is at today, play this clip, and I want to ask you, Sam, what happened to the Democratic Party? Go for it.
Holy Toledo. Voters' views of the Democrats in Congress among all voters disapprove. 68%. And look at the approved number, just 21%, even lower than the Democratic Party at large. This is the lowest.
Even he couldn't help himself, and he had to make fun of Harry Enten. Number.
On record for Democrats, according to Quinnipiac University polling. You think these numbers are bad? Let's go to this side of the screen. We'll look how Democratic voters feel. Get this. The plurality of Democratic voters disapprove of Democrats in Congress at 49%, and just 40% approve. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Oh, my goodness gracious, you just can't get worse than these numbers.
And this is the number right here really driving all of this. If Democratic voters have turned on Democrats in Congress and the Democratic Party, that's what puts the numbers at historic lows. What is it they want to be seeing, these voters?
What is going on? I'll tell you what's going on. They don't like what's coming out of some of those Senate Democrats like Chuck Schumer, because take a look at the direction of the party. Democratic voters on Democrats in Congress doing too little to oppose Donald Trump. Look at this, 77%. Should stay principled, even if it means nothing gets done in Washington, D.C., 65%. And this 65% is such a difference from where we were in 2017 at this point, when just 33% of Democrats say this should stay principled, compared to 59% who said they want to compromise. Democrats do not want compromise at this point. They want a fighter. They want to go into the...
Well, I'm shocked. I guess all the Democrats, everyone in the heart of the Democratic Party that responds to these polls, that still pick up their phone in landlines and still respond to text messages for surveys and stuff, are all watching me, I guess, because they sound like me. How did this happen? Holy Toledo is right, but not in the direction that Harry Enton is suggesting. Holy Toledo is right because finally you got the Democratic base going, dude, what are you doing? Fight for us. What is wrong with you? Please fight. Do anything. What the
ring like Muhammad Ali did against Sonny Liston. Wow. They want to take down the Republicans. They do not want this compromise anymore. They want to be more like Republicans, get up to that stage and fight. And right now they feel like their leaders in Congress are simply not doing so. And that is why their approval rating for congressional Democrats is at an all-time low, even among Democrats.
Do they think Unc is a Dem? Sam is a Dem. Are you kidding me? Sam Seder is way more vote blue no matter who than me.
Sam, what happened? What happened to the Democratic Party?
Well, I should start by saying I always thought that Trump would be the nominee. And 2 years ago, I was wondering why Ron DeSantis was lighting his career on fire by trying to run against Donald Trump, to be honest with you. I think, Trump and the Republican Party, I think they're one and the same. And so that doesn't surprise me. Those numbers are some of the most encouraging numbers I've seen in the 20 some odd years I've been doing this, because I want to see it communicated to Democratic leadership that we want you to fight. And I've been riding Chuck Schumer for, 10 years, trying to get him. I mean, Harry Reid was a great, I think, as far as they go, leader of the Senate for Democrats. But I think it's time for new leadership in the Democratic Party. We need and this is not even ideological from my perspective. I think there are Democrats that I agree with and Democrats that I disagree with on an ideological standpoint. But I think a different generation of Democrats understand that the Republican Party is intransigent. There is no negotiating with them. I think the biggest mistake that Joe Biden made was following the American Rescue Act, which was a massive boon to the American public. We cut child poverty by 45% in a year. I just want to repeat that. We cut child poverty by 45% in a year because of that act when Biden first got in. And you know what Republicans were talking about after we passed bills that cut child poverty in a year, that extended unemployment benefits, that provided food stamps, that provided health insurance? Republicans were talking about 2 books that the Dr. Seuss publisher decided not to publish. And so in my mind, the Republican Party there is completely bankrupt of ideas. And Joe Biden, instead of pushing through Build Back Better over that summer, he opened the door for the Republicans to give a proposal. That went nowhere for 3 months. Then he opened the door for Kristen Sinema and Rob Portman to come in and give a proposal. And that ultimately, I think, is when Democratic voters started getting impatient with Biden, because we were thinking $5 trillion, $4 trillion. Joe Manchin was saying $6 trillion Build Back Better bill. And we never got anything like that. It ended up getting split into the IRA, which was a good bill, but I think insufficient. And then infrastructure stuff, also important, but insufficient. And so I think what you're seeing is frustration from Democratic voters who are saying, A, you're not fighting. B, you're allowing the Republicans too much opportunity. And C, we need more government intervention.
Do you think it's more that they're not fighting, or do you think that their policies are simply bad policies and they're not landing?
No, I think it's that they're not fighting. What are their policies?
So tell me what policies are, like right now, the Democratic Party. Who is the face of the Democratic Party, and what are the top 3 things you guys stand for?
Well, I don't think there is a face of the Democratic Party at the moment. I mean, Chuck Schumer is nominally the highest elected Democratic official that's out there.
That's not a good sign for you guys.
100%. I agree. I call for him to resign every day.
Normie questions. I don't think they're normie questions. I think they're supposed to be contentious because they know the answer to it. But what? Only an Eastern-blooded Turk could have the gall to come to our country and try to tell us how to live. This is why your ilk doesn't belong here. You lack the decorum of civilized Westerners. It is the same reason why your kind can't handle a basic economy back home. Typical Mohammedan anchor babies, says Sam Sinclair 7076. That's awesome. Yeah, as an Eastern-blooded Turk, I want you to get healthcare, man, regardless of your horrifyingly racist perspective. You know, following since 2021 is awesome. You can LARP as this white supremacist. What's good? Hello. Hate watching for 4 years. Please keep as a pet. Yeah, I don't want to block this. I don't want to ban this guy. He's pretty funny. Take it up with Erdogan, not me. Wait, what? I'm not. No, I live in America and I'm an American citizen. And I'm saying, like, while I have enough money to pay for my healthcare, I want to pay higher taxes so that you can get healthcare, regardless of how racist you are. You know what I mean? That's my point. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you think that it's uncivilized to have socialized medicine, but I want you to be able to get health care. I want to make sure that you can retire at a reasonable age. I want the housing market to be fixed so that, like, you can own a home, regardless of your perspective. You can be a hateful little racist in your house, you know? That's my argument. Do you like that? Yeah, who gives a shit if some Israeli cuck politician give you a sheet of paper saying you're American? You're just not. Wait, what? Some Israeli cuck politician gave you a sheet of paper saying you're American? You're just not? Okay. I mean, I was born in the United States of America. I'm confused. I was born here. You know, you might need to take it up. Okay. I don't think you heard the things that I was saying about healthcare and stuff. Like, we know you're racist. You don't have to keep repeating it. And also maybe potentially anti-Semitic as well. It is funny, though, to still be mad at someone like myself, or anyone really, other than Donald Trump, like right now. Like, your books are cooked. Oh, shit, he got permabanned off the website. Damn it. Yeah, okay, well, yeah, it turns out you can't go to, like, a Muslim content creator's page and call him a Mohammedan invader. That's still, I think, logs as hate speech. My bad. I would have enjoyed hearing your perspective more. Once again, regardless of the fact that you just got IP banned from the Twitch platform for doing hate speech and stuff, I still think you should be able to get healthcare. You should be able to go to college for free. You should be able to send your children to college for free. So I'll still fight for that, even if you're too busy fighting me and other people in your life instead of the politicians that are robbing you blind, you know? One day.
Okay. I don't know that there is a single, I don't think the Democratic Party has coalesced around an agenda. We're having there's a fight within the Democratic Party.
Well, what do you like? Do you have someone you like that you would want to see, or do you want to see the capitalistic competitive philosophy of somebody just comes out and let's see who it is? Because if Even you right now, Sam.
The capitalistic, I don't understand.
What I mean by capitalistic, like competitive. Let's just see who comes out
competition
of the competition.
Predates
what I'm
capitalism.
Saying. Yeah, so that's good. The competition is a good thing.
I mean,
right?
I think, obviously there's going to be a competition.
Is there anyone you like?
Well, I think there are policies that I like that are expressed by like Sanders and AOC on their tour.
I'm surprisingly not as value-tained because it's not getting as heated.
Can you tell me?
Sam Seder called it over his insane views on wealthy taxpayers. But yeah, chat, I'm afraid I have to end it here at 7 hours and 2 minutes because it's a half day and I'm pathetic and I hate work. But fear not. It is because we are shooting Fear and. That's right. We're shooting Fear and podcast tonight, as opposed to when we would normally shoot it on the weekend. And the reason for that is because tomorrow I'm going to stream normally and then I'm going to go to DC. Cutie Cinderella's not here yet. She's coming back next week. She will be on the next episode. This is the last boys episode we will have. And for the last boys episode we'll ever have, we're going to be going crazy. We're going to be going gnarly with it. We're going to go the extra mile. We're going to go the distance. Hasan Reactions, one of the best ones in the React channel.